Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into Meta's absolutely audacious $2 billion gamble on a startup that honestly is set to completely redefine our relationship with artificial intelligence.
Okay, let's just start with a number that sent total shockwaves through the tech world. Over $2 billion. That is what Meta shelled out for a pretty little-known AI startup called Manus. This isn't just some casual investment, it's a massive statement about where AI is headed.
And just to put that number in perspective for you, this is now Meta's third largest acquisition ever. That puts it right up there in the same league as their blockbuster purchase of WhatsApp. So yeah, this is a monumental move. But here's the part that really makes you go, wow, the speed. This wasn't some long, drawn-out corporate negotiation. The whole thing, from the very first conversation to the ink drying on the papers, took just over 10 days. That kind of speed, it just screams that Meta feels an immense, almost desperate urgency in this race for AI supremacy. So you have to be asking, what on earth could justify that kind of speed and, of course, that kind of price tag? Well, the answer is all about the next big evolution of AI, something called AI agents. To really get the hype, we have to understand the difference here. For the last couple of years, we've gotten really used to traditional AI, right? Chatbots and stuff. They're basically like a suggestion box. You ask it a question, it spits out an answer. Agentic AI, the kind that Manus builds, is a whole different ballgame. It is not a suggestion box. It's more like a digital employee. You give it a complex goal and it goes off and independently plans and executes all the steps to actually get it done. For Meta, this whole acquisition boils down to one thing: turning all their amazing, cutting-edge AI research into products that actually make money. They're in a fierce race with rivals like OpenAI and Google, and Manus basically gives them a powerful shortcut to start commercializing. And that's because Manus wasn't just some cool research project with a lot of promise. No, it was a proven, profitable business, already raking in over $100 million in annual recurring revenue. If you're not familiar, that's the steady income they get from customer subscriptions every year. They'd already figured out how to sell this incredibly powerful tech. So let's get into it. What is this $2 billion technology really? Let's take a look under the hood of what Manus has been building. So at its core, Manus is what's called a general AI agent. Okay, think of it this way. It's an AI that doesn't just talk about doing things, it actually does them. You can give it a really high-level goal, and it will figure out a plan and then use whatever tools it needs, like a web browser or some coding software, to get the job done, all by itself. So here's what that looks like in practice. It all starts when you give it a complex goal. The agent then takes that goal and breaks it down into a whole series of smaller, doable steps. Then, and this is the magic part, it just goes and executes those steps on its own. And finally, it delivers the completed result, not just a bunch of suggestions for what you should do next. So, what does this actually mean in the real world? Well, the possibilities are just mind-boggling. Imagine telling an AI, hey, analyze our top 3 competitors and then build me a presentation on what you find. Manus could actually do that. It can write and fix its own code, automate these super complex business processes. It can basically act as a super intelligent assistant for any company out there. But, this kind of revolutionary technology, it doesn't just appear out of thin air. It's always the product of brilliant people, and the story of the Manus founders is honestly just as compelling as the tech itself. The company's rise was absolutely meteoric. They were founded in Beijing back in 2022, and then the team made a really strategic move to Singapore in mid-2025. This was a smart play. It let them navigate some tricky geopolitical stuff and position themselves way better for the global market. And well, that move clearly paid off. And this right here, this is the dream team that made it all happen. You had Xiao Hong, the CEO, who was the visionary for the product. Then there was Ji Yichao, the technical mastermind behind the entire AI architecture. And Zhong Tao was the strategist, the one who figured out how to turn their brilliant tech into a huge commercial success. Their whole journey is just this powerful reminder about the globalization of innovation. It is absolute proof that world-changing ideas are no longer just a Silicon Valley story. A team that got its start in Beijing can create a product that gets snapped up for billions by one of America's biggest tech giants. It's incredible. So, let's zoom out. What are the broader implications of this massive deal? What does it really mean for the future of technology, the future of work, and frankly, for all of us? There are a few really key lessons here, I think. First, Manus proved that having a real product that's been tested by actual users can be so much more powerful than just pure theory. They didn't just hang out in a lab, they built something people wanted to pay for. Second, their story just shows that truly great ideas don't care about borders. And finally, for anyone in the tech world, this deal really highlights a critical truth. You've got to combine that deep knowledge with hands-on, practical building skills. That is the path forward.
And all of this brings us to the ultimate question, doesn't it? In a world where AI can not only think, but can also act, what is the future of human work even going to look like? That's a question we are all going to be grappling with, probably a lot sooner than we think. Thanks for tuning in.